Hey, YouTube. Let's.
Well, I started this story in the middle of the page. I remembered the lines and forgot my age. When somebody said my attitude was snotty, that's when you call and say get out tonight. I'll catch a late night movie on a late night flight. I'll be getting real drunk and making fun of everybody. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have gone around. Hey, you can stick that sign up your ass. The one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. To a party last Saturday night. You know, I think I got laid, then I got in a fight. I don't remember that much, but I think I liked it. I saw some band called Roses and Sake, and they brought back the rock, and the singer was cocky. 2 years later, I'm sure they'll forget about it. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have come around. Yeah, you can stick that sound up your ass. The one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day.
And hey, everybody, welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's well. So, yeah. I swore these shows off. Swore them off. I said, I'm not going to do a show like this ever again. And I had good reason for it. But I can't help it. I can't put my finger. Can't give you a reason why. Like a moral thing. It's built up kind of thing, and there is some of that. There's some of it. It's kind of built up, and it's time. It's just time. I was given the green light. You know, the dude gave me the green light. Mark Zaskey. And just for transparency, like, dude, I don't know Mark Zaskey. I've never had a conversation with that guy ever once that I can remember. Um, it's possible we were backstage somewhere sometime, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that would have that would that'd be a memory in my brain to fall back on. Oh yeah, that one time. So don't know the guy. I'm speaking I'm speaking out of opinion and instinct, um, which I have a good history with in my life. Um, judging people and being right about it. I have real good history with that. In fact, it saved my life once. So, pretty confident to sit down here at the table with any audience that chooses to watch this and carry on. Oh wow. That was weird. To watch this show and learn something or take it all in. um Sometimes I hate the look, to be fair, I'll flip the script for a minute and then I'm gonna get on with it. To be fair, when you try and be like sheriff of the Bigfoot world, it doesn't look good. And that's not what I'm trying to be here. I'm just about truth and honesty. So I'm not trying to be sheriff of the Bigfoot world, and I don't think that my compadres, my gang, if you will, should be either. But this is egregious, and again, long time coming. So, wow, I'm very ill prepared. I thought I had this all kind of worked out. Work with me here, people. Okay, so just to lay it all out, Carrie Arnold passed away. Carrie Arnold from Bigfoot Aussie passed away very tragically. What, a few weeks ago? A little bit less than a month ago. Um, and uh, so he's just gone, like literally like that. Um, and now some time has gone by, and Mark Zaskey was one of the people that was partnered up with Carrie personally. And again, I'm not going to try and dig too deep into any kind of minutia of partnerships or LLCs or any kind of legally binding shit going on. That's not what I'm here to talk about. That shit will play itself out one way or another. Like whatever that is. Um but Carrie passed away, and Zasky had been partnered up with Carrie for a while. And again, I have my opinions about that. I'm going to unleash them here tonight once and for all because this is a long time coming. The dude has given me a fucking reason, you know. I've had opinions about that guy for a long time, and uh he has validated every fucking opinion I've had of him. That he's a snake, he's not a good dude at all. He he's a hoaxer, and he was trying to manipulate the situation with Carrie, which he did do. And again, we'll get to that. I'll get to my opinions about all that. A manipulator, possibly a bit of a sociopath, definitely a me first kind of dude, um narcissist kind, type on seem be a pretty high level and all that stuff. And so yes, I'm gonna play the video, Kaiju. Um no, I promised Kim I wouldn't, Joe. Kim made me promise that I would not go down that road. But I think it's more than that. there's a way to do things in this world for fairness and truthfulness, and this is how I do it. I'm fair, and I try and be true, and I'm not afraid to just give an opinion and say, yeah, I'm judging, because we all judge. So I'm gonna play the video. But I'm not gonna get into name calling. I'm gonna try not to, Joe. So don't entice me into it. I promised Kim I wouldn't. She really did not want me to do that. Because that makes me as bad as him. That was kind of her take. Anyway. So Carrie passed away, it's close to a few weeks ago. Linda, so let me talk about Linda for a minute. I don't know Linda. I've never had a conversation with Linda. Again, this just falls back on my judgment of people. I always thought Linda was a really nice person, you know. And again, for transparency, like I had a relationship with Carrie myself. It was more casual. It wasn't. We weren't BFFs at any point. And I'll talk about that some too later. But Carrie and I, we had a falling out. We had a disagreement. We went our separate ways in a way that didn't involve shit talking or a lot of like none of that happened between me and Carrie. So I knew Carrie. I talked to Carrie. I had conversations with Carrie. You'd actually be surprised. You'd be surprised. But Linda, I did not know. But Linda, I again judge from afar and go, what? Linda seems like a nice woman. She seems like a level-headed person, a good person. No reason to think otherwise. No red flags. Again, I consider myself a decent judge of people and character. And I judged Mark Zaskey a long time ago to be, a bad dude. A snake in the grass. A hoaxer, for sure. And manipulator. So that's who I judged Mark to be a long time ago. And he completely has validated me. And so I'm going to play the video and then we'll move on. They changed screen. Okay. Of course, I got to find it. Ooh, which one is it? Watch Facebook. I bet that's it. Yep. All right. Hopefully everything will go cool. My computer will not crash. If it does, it'll be dead air and this whole thing will suck. So I'll get to that too, Blount. Thanks for being here, Blount County. I'll get to all this stuff. I promise. And I might invite some people in. All right. So I think I'm sharing screen. I do believe I am. Let's just play it. Let me make sure. Hold on. Yep, I am. All right. Let's just play it. Oh, and I think, God, do I have to put the mic? I don't know if this is going to come through well. I might move the mic closer here. All right, here we go.
What's going on, guys? Mark with Crypto Reality here. Got a bunch of information for you about what's going on, right? I just got a phone call from somebody who's now as if I've done something wrong. That I need to return my equipment that Carrie purchased for Crypto Reality so that we could do our job. I've made movies with Carrie Arnold for 7 years. I have proof. Carrie and I were good friends, and now Linda Arnold is trying to screw us out of Crypto Odyssey, which happens to be my company. And the equipment is mine because Carrie gave it to me. These people at Bigfoot Odyssey that aren't Carrie Arnold are trying to destroy Crypto Reality and Crypto Odyssey. Do you know why? Because they're jealous. There's no other way. They literally talked people who helped us, me and Carrie, into somehow screwing us over to try to end what we're doing. Carrie's dream. Now they have the one person that was willing to help us trying to screw us over, as if we've done something wrong when all we've done is meet every obligation we agreed to, and then half of Carrie's. So you want to screw us over, Linda, huh? That's what you want to do? Like we're your enemy. You've been doing this for 7 years, and I don't understand why. We've done nothing but try to be good friends to you and to Bigfoot Odyssey. Now you want to sue us like we did something when all we did was support your project? You sick people on us and threaten to sue us? That's what you want to do? You're disgusting. Crypto Reality's done nothing but forward Carrie's dream. And you and all of you at Bigfoot Odyssey are completely disgusting human beings. Disgusting.
Wow. Hold on. I gotta stop. Geez, where'd my StreamYard link go? All right. Okay. That just went away. Wow. What do you fucking say to that, man? You attack. I don't care. Let's just say all things aside, man, the minutia, whatever the hell's going on, like whatever the hell's going on, you don't publicly, and he did publicly attack a grieving widow who's, not a bad person, who doesn't make videos like this, right? About anybody. And, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that was bad. And everybody knows. Like, the earth is round, right? So there it is, man. And by the way, he deleted this video. So he put this video out. I don't know how long it was up, but at some point he deleted it, and within hours, I'll say. Within hours. Not days, but hours. And fortunately, we still have the video. I was able to play the video because of two people. Cornell caught it probably like right off the bat in his notifications or something. And he messaged Brent, and Brent saw it. This happened pretty quick, and Brent said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna copy this," because Brent has a fundamental understanding of these kinds of things, tend to go away pretty quick when people come to their senses. And sure enough, it did go away. That video is not on Mark's channel. There's another video that is a dumbed down version of that without all the, rhetoric of, Linda being a despicable, horrible person isn't there. But mine, it's like all that bad stuff was taken out, and it was, it's pointed towards the benefactor, billionaire, whoever that is. So that's the deal with the video. And yeah, Joe, maybe I don't know if Zaskey took the second one down. Again, he got really pissed like that towards the last third of the video in the second video he put out, where he didn't name names. He got like unhinged again, you know. So yeah, shit. Where do I take this from here? All right, so that video completely validates every opinion, pretty much every opinion I've had of Mark Zaskey over the past couple of years. Like that, like as soon as I like just even heard Zaskey speak, I got red flags. I'm like, I've seen this before in other people, and it turned out to be bad. They turn out to be bad people. Like again, I'm not patting myself on the back, nor am I saying that, I'm like the absolute sheriff of judgmental of people in the world, man. I've had my experiences and turns out like when it counts, it's right. Thank God that, whatever my judgment of people is, and we all judge people, whether you realize it or not, you judge people every day. Whatever my judgment, serious judgment of people, I have 100% record of being right when it counted the most. It saved my life once. Somebody tried to kill me, and that person was not able to kill me because I knew going into it all this judgment towards them. Okay? So I have some experience with judging people when it counts. So my judgment, so for whatever that's worth, not on that level, my judgment of Zasky was he's a snake. He's a snake. He's this, he's that. He's a hoaxer for sure, like all that stuff. And so I've been judging him, and he's only been validating my judgment of him along the way until, of course, this. eh, okay. Like, is he like some is he is he having a bad day? No, that's who this guy is. What you saw in that video, that's why the reactions to it are really strong. And undeniably strong. Yeah, maybe he was having a bad day because somebody was, trying to steal his joy, right? For he wants to keep the equipment. He wants to carry the torch. Carrie Arnold meant everything to him, like for a potential sort of payday coming. It's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like to me. It still does. So here's my opinion about two things. One more important than the other for sure. Like I kind of a part of me really wanted to scream this from the rooftops the day after like I found out that Carrie had passed away. I really wanted to say this, so I'm just going to say it now about Carrie. And it relates to Zasky in this case, obviously. So I had a relationship with Carrie. We had a casual relationship. Again, we weren't BFFs or anything like that. But I talked to Carrie, and Carrie, just out of the blue one day, like I get a message on from him. He's like, He's like, "Hey man, will you host the next week of Bigfoot Odyssey? We're doing whatever it is, 14 days to Christmas or whatever it is, you know." So like he let me host his show, which at the time like I wasn't even doing Squatch Talk at that time. And I was like, I mean, I thought that was cool as hell. I was like, sure, man. So I thought it was really cool, man, that like Carrie just threw that into my lap and said, "Hey, man, you want to host my show where there's 500 fucking people watching every night?" Which I never had an audience like that. Like those are numbers of like streamers that I like gamer streamers and shit, dude. Have like 500 people watch it. I'm like, sure, man. And so I tried to do it justice. Actually held back a little bit. Um, because I kind of wanted to do. He asked me to host the show. I kind of wanted to do it in the respectful vein of how he did things at Odyssey. Again, like this was God 2 years ago. Fuck, guys, I can't remember. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah. So so that happened, and so I had a relationship with him good enough to where he let me host Odyssey, back then 2 years ago, um, for about 7 or 8 shows, and and that was cool. And that carried on, again, into the year, and Carrie was also the reason why the Squatch Talk face group was born. Like I'm not sure if I'd ever done that or I would have done it later, maybe. If I'd have done it, I would have done it later. But in a, private conversation with Carrie, he's like, "Man, you should start a group on Facebook, your Squatch Talk for your channel." And I'm like, I don't know. Like I was literally at the time, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's worth doing. Like poop. And he insisted. He said, "No, no, do it. Trust me." So I did. Like Squatch Talk Facebook group was born because of Carrie Arnold, convincing me. So I had those moments with Carrie, man. And yes, we did have a falling out because it eventually got to the point where my integrity just I couldn't keep up with Bigfoot Odyssey anymore, and he saw that, you know, and so we had a falling out that was not like a knockdown drag out fallout. That was shit talking fallout, you know, and I'm glad it wasn't, it's like something, little things were said here and there, maybe publicly sometimes, but we didn't have a shit talking fallout, and and I'm glad we didn't. Looking back, especially where we're at now, um, if I could pick up the phone and call Carrie, I would, and I have a lot of things to say, but that's not going to happen, right? Um, so I've always believed Carrie in his encounter. Um, it's an encounter story, right? And it's one of those things where it's a what 30-second to 1 minute encounter that happened to him that he can talk about for an hour, right? And that's all over the place. That's in different places. From chronicles to other people YouTubers shows, and he even talked about it on his own channel. I always believed it's an encounter. So I always viewed Carrie as a guy who had that encounter. Just like I would Joe or Jeff, you know, people like that, I'm like, yeah, man, that happened to you. Same thing with Carrie. It's like that. It's like, yeah, man, that happened to you. Um, so as far as Carrie and his encounter goes, I never really question it. I mean, it's not like I can investigate it, right? So it was what it was. I'm like, you know what, dude? I believe you. Just like I would say Jeff. If Jeff were here right now, I'd be like, dude, I believe you. I believe that happened to you. Um, sorry, I'm getting a little deep. Like this actually means a lot to me. Again, like Carrie and I were not close, but he was somebody that I knew who fucking died in a horrible, tragic way, man. Um, so I'm, I guess, I'm being a little empath there, empathy. Um, but I'm gonna get back on topic here. I just want everybody to understand fully, because I know like a lot of people might will see this video who haven't seen me in a long time or heard from me in a long time. You know, I just want everybody to understand, dude, that whatever. Carrie Arnold and I, we went different ways. You know, our sort of relationship ended. Um, but I never doubted his story. You know, and all that stupid, like whatever bullshit. People. Me saying, why do they ban people and all that? Like, dude, that's all trivial. Like, just like that's nothing compared to what happened, man. He died horribly. um so sorry, I'm getting lost here in my own thoughts. Anyway, I just want people to understand that I did have a relationship with the guy. So it was thought provoking to me once the Zasky stuff started really hitting. um a couple of years ago, like not even. I know that like the Zasky stuff goes back further, but like it really started coming into play a little year and a half and some change. And that's, you know, God, I remember Carrie sending me those pictures, those still frames, and I remember him going on Bigfoot Odyssey and really pushing, you know, like it's not pareidolia, it's not pareidolia. Like that is the face of the creature. And so this went on. As this progressed, it progressed, it got more and more. I could tell it was becoming more and more important to Carrie, and that's when it really started to click with me. I already didn't like Zasky. I was weary of him, and these pictures were a big part of that because I'm looking at these pictures and I'm going, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And at the time, it's like, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm starting to form opinions, but I'm not ready to like really put my finger on it. I never thought it was, I was never like, oh shit, that's a Bigfoot. And I kind of placated Carrie here and there, like, oh wow, could you send me some more? Because I wanted, I didn't know how public these things were gonna go, so I wanted to have like my own file of them, you know. And no, I haven't. I've never talked to Zasky or Linda. Carrie is my only medium here, um, and my own judgment. So all this stuff starts progressing with the Zasky photos. The 168. By the way, I was supposed to be like, I was supposed to, or I had an opportunity. not supposed to be. I had an opportunity to be a part of the 168. And I'll give you the very short story there was that the first time I ever met Carrie Arnold was uh on a live stream, believe it or not, with Christopher Noel. And this would have been ooh, 4 years ago. 4 years ago? Yeah, roughly 4 years ago. And uh we did that show, and then after the show we were all backstage talking, and I was talking to Carrie about drones. Because like, dude, at that time I didn't know Carrie Arnold from anybody. I just knew he had a channel and it was kind of successful, and that he was into drones, and that he was going to do this 168 thing. I thought it was a great idea. So I talked to him about it. He said it was going to be in Florida, and I'm like, you know, okay, that's funny what just happened. Um, I'm going to be in Florida, and I'm thinking, I don't want to go to Florida, but I kind of left it open ended. I was like, well, let me know, man. And then I think I can't remember exactly how it went down. Like, he tried to do it and it got all messed up. So this may have been 3 years ago with the COVID thing. Like, I don't know. Like, all I know is that I did talk to him about being being a drone pilot for the 168. Um, and I mean, I did I thought about it. I thought it might be. I was like, that actually might be cool, even though I hate Florida and I don't think Florida is a good place to look for Bigfoot. But you know, I kept it on file as a possible thing that I could take part in. And so that's another thing that people don't know is that, I was at least a part of some of the original discussions. And I still think it was, 4 years ago about the 168. Um, and that the Squatch Talk Facebook group pretty much exists, or it got created when it got created because Carrie talked me into it. So I just thought it important to like at least throw that out there as like, I mean, since the man's gone now, you know, to just be honest and say, those were some of the cooler moments I had with Carrie. Those were some of the deeper, like real talk moments I had with that guy. So I knew him well enough to be able to even judge him, and I judged his encounter story to be truthful. Again, just like I would Jeff. If Jeff was sitting right next to me right now, I'd be like, "Man, that happened to you." And Joe, same thing. Like, dude, that happened to you. I judge it to be truthful. You're telling me the truth. So here comes his involvement with Zaskey. Why? Because of these fucking pictures. And sure enough, there's a goddamn ogre-looking face in these pictures. And so at the end of the day, I started formulating opinions, well thought out, like actually spending time, my own thinking and time about Carrie Arnold and his relationship with Zaskey. Because this Zaskey guy I don't like. I'm like, from the beginning. And it's only gotten more and more and more since learning of this dude. But Carrie is somebody I know. And again, I just laid out some of the deeper moments I had with the guy, and some of the more interesting moments that I had that you probably didn't even know about, you know? Um, so I spend time thinking, here's Sasky with his photos. Carrie's really into him. He's getting more into them. He's really starting to push them. I'm noticing this. At one point, I was again in the conversation with this, you know. he's making them public, and then he's really going public, and then boom, boom, one thing leads to another, and boom. The 168 finally gets filmed and comes out, and the first fucking segment of it is about those goddamn photos. So that's the progression I saw happen from the inside out. And I could only come to one conclusion. Again, I put thought into it. Thought I didn't have to, let any of the shit occupy my fucking brain in my chaotic life sometimes, like we all have sometimes. But I did. And I came to the conclusion that Carrie. So here's my conclusion. It's one I came to a year ago. That I still hold. Carrie Arnold had that experience with that Bigfoot. And knowing him, and also, getting to see him speak online, in a long form kind of thing, and the way he would talk about it online and his show and everything. The guy was desperate for answers. He was. And I think his motivation and everything he did was to try and get answers and surround himself with people that could help him get to that goal of answers. That's what I think. And the more that went on, the clearer that became. Again, all the way down to this latching on to Zaskey, Mark Zaskey, who, you saw the video. I mean, tell me that guy's not a manipulator. Like, that guy's not a narcissist. That guy's like, of course he is. So this guy, who's a 100% hoaxer, in my opinion, has this thing that Carrie latched onto and thought was real. That stupid fucking picture of that ogre. That's not a Bigfoot. And it's not. It's just not. Like, I don't even care if you fucking think it is or not. I can prove it's not. And we'll get to that. I can prove it. Carrie latched on to that. He thought it was real because he was fucking desperate. I think he was desperate. Again, this is just my opinion. This is just my judgment. But that's truly what I believe based on everything I just told you guys. All the involvement that I ever had in any of that, and with Carrie himself. And the fact that I followed it enough to care enough to even start formulating opinions and making judgments for whatever reason. He latched on to Zaskey because he thought that shit was real. And so now, here's a desperate person who desperately wants answers. And he thinks he's got the guy who's starting to develop them. Like, literally. Right? Here's this picture. I know how to take pictures of him. I know how to get close to him. And my opinion of Carrie, because Carrie wasn't a dumb dude. I'm not saying Carrie was dumb. He was just desperate. And I think in that vulnerability, that was a vulnerability left by his encounter, that he became gullible in that one place. I mean, trust me, dude. Sure, Carrie Arnold, man, showed up at the job site, a badass dude in charge of what he needed to be in charge in. His guys respected him. Like, Carrie was no dumbass, vulnerable guy on the job site. I could promise you that. I mean, just ask anybody that knew him. I guarantee you they'll back that up. That's not who Carrie Arnold was. But when it comes to Mark Zaskey, Carrie got gullible. He was desperate for answers. That's my opinion. And I could say that now. I could say that now because Carrie's gone and I'm allowed to give my opinion about that whole situation. And Mark Zaskey pulled this fucking dumbass trigger of revealing himself to the Bigfoot world in a pretty bad way. And so here we are. You know, there's, Linda wants the equipment back. Zasky's gonna hold on to it. Like, again, I like that. It's hard for me to dive into because I don't know all the details. I know there are people who do, and I'm sure that there are people that will speak out about that, especially given the horrific nature, of that video. I don't know what LLCs were formed or, what papers were signed. I mean, there's a show that we can fall back on in the Bigfoot Odyssey catalog where Carrie and Mark were talking about this partnership. Man, guys, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 months ago, ballpark. Plus or minus a few weeks. Because I remember it. I remember them talking about possible press releases. So I don't know. There might be some information to actually gain out of like that conversation that they had on air about it. But all I know is that my judgment of Linda Arnold is one of she's a good person. Seems like a good person. And I'm sure she is. Like, I'm pretty confident she is. And my judgment of Mark Zaskey is he's a snake. He's got some, potential issues into the, like bad guy language. Con artist. Like, he's definitely a hoaxer. Again, I can prove it, and I'm gonna. It's gonna take some time. It's not something I can. It's not something I can snap my fingers and just prove. It's one of those things. It's like I can't just tell you about it. Like, I actually have to show you that the evidence that virtually proves it's a hoax. And you could take that for what it is, and people will or won't. But that's the story. To me, that's the story of like Carrie Arnold. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding, man. Carrie's my best friend. He was my best friend. I'm going to sit here and talk shit about my dead best friend's wife. Is that a guy observing Bigfoot? Is that somebody that anybody should ever trust their judgment or their like authentic, filming of a Bigfoot? Is the guy that says, my best friend, Carrie's my best friend. And his wife is a horrible human being. Again, like Linda's been out in public, like So it's not like it's just this mysterious person that we know nothing about. Well, we didn't know anything about Carrie's wife. Like Linda's been out in public plenty. So you're the kind of guy that says, "Well, my best friend, his wife is a horrible human being." What? Dude, I don't think anybody else is seeing that. You're Can you prove that? Do you have a video that was made and got deleted that you could show? Like of course he doesn't, because that never happened. Linda was on, when they finally, got to a point where they could do a tribute show on Bigfoot Odyssey, right? It was like a couple of weeks after the fact. I mean, you know, Linda was nothing but sweet and in tears, man. Like, she loved her husband. Like, they had a great relationship, it seemed like to me, and probably to a lot of people too. And I mean, I'm not gonna think anything other than what's obvious to me about those two people, Carrie and Linda, who Carrie was and who Linda is, and and who Zaskey is. Because it's all right there. It's all very obvious. So, what am I missing? Because I have not been paying attention to chat really 99% of the time. Right, so it's been a month. It's been more than a month. Yo. Sorry, I'm just catching things in chat. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know, man. I mean, all I can say is, Zasky's the kind of guy that, well, Carrie said, you know, I mean, there could be documentation of that. So if this plays out in court, um, so if you don't know, basically, Linda threatened to sue him to get that stuff back, to get the equipment back. Um, and and you know, so I'll be honest with you, like I don't know how that would play out in court, because I'm not a freaking lawyer, and you know if they had a business agreement, and one of those things, like that's not my lane. That's just not my lane. I really wanted to come at it from the just my personal interactions and understandings, and even being a fly on the wall sometimes, of just my own unique perspective that I had about the whole situation. And the fact that Zasky has proved what I thought about him the whole time, that he's not a good guy, because good guys don't fucking do what he did. Even if money's involved, you don't talk shit on that level. There's a reason why he deleted that video. He realized he went too far. So, and yeah, there's a lot of, dude, I'm sure there's tons of minutia. Again, I'll default to the people who have been involved, and I encourage you to speak up, whoever you are. Because this isn't about any kind of petty bullshit, um, disagreements. between camps or whatever, man. I could care less. You know, all that shit went away the day that Carrie passed away. You know, it's only fair game, man, if they're still alive. you know, so any kind of like disagreements or call outs you want to make, you know, it's all in play while they're still alive. They die in a horrible car accident, like all that goes away. And I'm applying that to the Bigfoot Odyssey world as a whole. The viewers, the listeners, Daniela, who like I have issues with her, um, because she's not fair, and she's not. I'll say that. Daniela's still alive. Daniela, you are not fair. But hey, you know what? I will stand up for the channel, and I will stand up for Carrie, um, for the reasons that I just laid out. And if that didn't get absorbed the first time, go back and watch it again. I saw all this unfold throughout the past couple of years. And to Linda, who I've never met, Linda Arnold, you know, if for some reason you see this, I uh I respect you in your position, and I feel for you that you lost your husband, who you seem like I'm sure you loved very much, had a great relationship with. All that personal stuff, man, is outside the Bigfoot world. You know, People have lives. We all have lives that don't revolve around Bigfoot. And so whatever I could do for you, Linda, which I'm sure probably won't be much, but whatever I could do, I'm always here. And I'm not sure what else I got, man, on this. Like, again, like Carrie was motivated. Nobody can say that. Like, I know, back in the day, again, when certain things were in play, the disagreements were there, and the titles were there, Entertainment Channel, and things like that. Um, Again, I'm not trying to get into that. Like, to me, it's a deeper thing. I know what I think I understand what Carrie was motivated by. That's the bottom line. It's what happened to him that day. That was I think that was always his motivation. Um and and he was going to go about it the way he saw fit because of whatever his personality, you know. Um and that's just that is what it is, you know. It's fine. Like, it's not a crime, you know, to live your life the way you want to based on, your motivations. Um Even if you get fooled along the way, um I'll say this too about carrying on very definitively. I don't think at any time really along the way that Carrie Arnold ever had in his heart to fool people. I don't think so. Right? Again, that's my opinion, that's my judgment. Um is that Carrie was not a guy that set out to fool people. He wasn't a guy that was trying to build an empire based on a lie. but I think he was trying to build an empire. Like, I think, he did a damn good job at it, actually. Um, Again, we can go, but get into the entertainment channel. Well, entertainment sells. Uh, like that could be a whole different discussion. Um, I think Carrie was a genuine guy who just got fooled by manipulative people who took advantage of his God, how do I say it? His vulnerable spot there, right? That vulnerable spot being like, I had this fucking weird thing happen to me that I just don't understand. I can't explain. I want fucking answers. I want answers. I want answers. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Um, like, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair. But what Mark did yesterday was wrong. That video was wrong. Everybody knows it. I mean, nobody in their right mind would support that video. Um, so it's a rare moment. You won't hear me say this often, but can we all come together, man, and defend Linda from, you know, that kind of attack and be a character written witness against Zasky, maybe for Linda, and just, like, be on the right side of something for once, because this this is way beyond the Bigfoot phenomena. This has become a people thing. This has become a community, like an actual. This is the online community. There's a lot of people involved. So it it was Brent. It was Brent. Brent said it like, and I mean, it's a great saying. It's been said before. Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant, and I've always thought through different levels of different increments of, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. With Zasky, I've always thought of Zasky as not a good dude, not trustworthy, not honest, potentially bad guy, so harmful. Like, get involved with this guy might bring fucking chaos and harm to your life. Con man, hoaxer, and more, possibly. I've always thought of him incrementally in those ways, and he proved me right. That video proves my judgment of him that I've formed over the past few years, really. That video proves me right. It validates every thought I've ever had of the guy. So, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know, but I just I felt compelled to to use my platform and my place in this community to speak my mind and say what I think is right versus wrong. And yeah, I know Donald, and I'll kind of make a separate point about yeah, most of us. Yeah, but who are you talking about? Us. So there was a time when the Bigfoot Odyssey world, for the most part, embraced Zasky. Like Carrie didn't get a lot of pushback from his community about that. He get he get little needles here and there, but not from his community, you know. I mean, he'd have Mark on over and over and over again, man. There was a stretch where Mark was on every other show. So no, people were buying into the Zasky stuff along with Carrie. I just hope that those same people see that video I played earlier. Because that will and I'm that will create the chopped off at the tail of the coattails that Zasky's trying to ride. He's been trying to ride Carrie's coattails, man. Again, manipulate to his advantage. You know, the most obvious motivate, for a big payday, he's complaining about being broke. Barely paying the mortgage. So, I don't read minds. Don't read minds. Don't claim to read minds, but I do judge. And again, I got a pretty good goddamn track record to fall back on. And I'm not sure what else to say about it. I don't want to drag it out into I see a lot of I mean, I know there's a lot of discussion going on in chat. Uh, anyway, I don't know, man. I think I'll just leave it at that. Fucking, I'll Jesus, separate thing. I shouldn't even mention it. I'll deal with this. This is outside of all that discussion and people. It's I'm tempted to mention it, but I'm not gonna. But look, I don't care. I don't care who was blocked from Bigfoot Odyssey. Dude, how fucking stupid is that now? Okay, so what? You know? Carrie's gone, man. Who cares? But I will say this: anybody watching this right now who has the ability to post in Bigfoot Odyssey, if you feel it at all appropriate, please put this video there because I want that community and I want those people. And eventually, I'd like Linda to see this actually herself, because I think I'm being fair. That's my thing. Fair. I'll always treat you fairly. I only ask that in return. Fair enough. um So yeah, man, forget all the petty bullshit, man. The pettiness, dude, compared to, horrible tragedy, and we could always talk about, like, well, I'll always stick to my principles of thinking. So my disagreements with Carrie based on thinking were what they were and are what they are. I won't concede any of that. Or even with other people, like, Squatch Talk is what it is. The catalog is there. I stand by it 100%. Okay. But the petty bullshit, forget that. This is quickly becoming a right versus wrong situation. And treading into territory that could be considered dangerous rhetoric, I'll say. And that should never, ever, ever be a part of the discovery, knowledge seeking, Bigfoot related phenomena ever. Dangerous rhetoric is not allowed. Get the fuck out of here with that. And with that, I say goodnight. It's done. Moving on. We'll do something cool next time.